Hi guys,
Drinking again.
welcome back. No pens this time, I promise. I only put those 4 videos up with the pens because I had those to turn and I just said I'd video them, and if you want to watch them you can. Yeah. Right, I had a message from Jim Matthews, and I hope you get well soon, mate. He's had a few little health issues, but you're getting on your feet and getting back out there, and he's going to be out in his workshop soon. Yeah. And he did say about if I do a little video just on the little thing I made up this for doing the mortars and tenons. You know what I have for my chuck? I only have the one I use basically for the SC1 and 2 chuck because they're fairly new on their sizes, and I just cannot remember them all the time what the sizes are. And when I'm doing this small stuff, I tend to, because it's a smaller chuck, it doesn't open up as much, so you've got to be a bit more accurate with it. Normally I don't bother because I've got one here that'll do it, and I know what these are. I just do them by eye. So with this, it's a very simple thing to make up, and I'll just make another one up here. Right, I use MDF because if you use any other wood, when you put a nail in near the end, it will split. With MDF, it doesn't split. Okay, so I'm just going to use a piece of this wood to have here to grill on. So first thing I'm going to do is I've got some, I've got me something, I know I have. Yep, here. Right, I've got some little pin nails. They're just these, they're only a little, like a 25mm pin. Right, so you can come in fairly close to the end, right in the middle, just tap it, then overhang it and tap it right the way through, like that, okay? And then you want the other end going the other way. So that one's coming through that way, yeah, like that. So this one's going to go that way. Like I say, it's just how I do. When you do it, you've got to put the markings for the recess or the tenon at different ends because there's such a little amount between them. That's it. So I mean, you can go right close to the end and MDF doesn't split. So we've got that little bit like that. Yeah, so now all we do is we measure our chuck. So we would want our, if we're doing our recess one first, let me get my chuck key. It's the same for whatever chuck you tend to use. Right, so I'd open that up to where it'd be, and I'd measure that. Now I know this is 40mm for this for recess. 40, well that's actually 42, sort of 42mm, okay? So what I will then do is on here, let me get a nice sharp pencil, is 21mm back from the nail, make a hole, make a mark. That's that one. Right, and then you want a 8mm drill bit, which is the same size as a pencil. Brad point 1 is best. Push down and do it on top of the wood, so that when it goes through, you don't get no breakout on the other side. Right, so that's that one. So that's going to be our recess. So I'm just going to put REC on that because I ain't got enough room to write everything. Okay, now the other side, we want this to be for our tenon. Now, well, basically it's jaws in the same place. Now I know it's 35mm for a tenon on that. So half of 35, 17 and a half, which is really, right, 15, so it's a bit awkward to get there, so 17 and a half is about there. Right, okay, it's the same thing again. There we go. And now we're just going to write tenon on. Can without the nail getting right, there you go. Tenon on that end. Right, okay. And that is basically it. And you can make them for all your different chucks. If you want to know, a lot of people I know they don't have loads and loads of chucks. You might only have 1 or 2 chucks or whatever. I've got the same size chuck on here. I've got the SC2 chuck on here. That was the SC1, but they've got the same jaws. So it'll work exactly the same. So first off, what I'm going to do is do the tenon one. And basically, if you've got your lathe spinning, put these nails in over here. Right, so I'm going to do a tenon. I'm just going to use a square carbide chisel to do it. Right, just put a little mark on the centre. Like that, so you know where your centre is. And then, right, that's the tenon, so it's a little bit high. Down. Right, just put the nail on the centre. It can't go nowhere, it's not going to spin, it's not going to flip up on you. That's it, that's our tenon. So we'll go ahead now and we'll just turn that down to that tenon. I'm not going to do a lot with this bit of wood. I don't want to waste this bit of wood. It's a really nice piece of wood. I'm going to put my face shield on, because I always do. Right, I'm going to take a little bit deeper. Right, there you go. And then all you'll do with that is come in with a, you've got a skew chisel, just come in with a skew chisel. Like that, and that'll just put your recess on it. Oh, take this for a second. And there we go, that's how, that put your dovetail on it, I mean, not your recess. That's our tenon done. So, oh no, hang on, that's got a screw. Oh, that's on a worm screw. I've got to unscrew it first. That's it, I hate worm screws. Because I always forget. They're very good, but I always forget. Right, there we go. But it does hold a piece. I mean, that's a bit of a long piece to have unsupported just on a worm screw, but I'm only doing this. I'm not going to do anything silly, but I'm not turning this piece yet. Right, and now, that's our 35mm. So that goes up in there. It's dovetailed. There we go. We get that there. Tight and 1/4. That is it. That's all we need. We don't over tighten. And there we go, we are done. Now if we want to put a recess on this side.
Mortise now.
Mortise, yeah, mortise, recess.
Recess, mortise,
yeah, recess, mortise, it's the same thing.
Okay.
One's left hand, one's right hand. What? Right, so I'm just going to clean the bottom up first. So I'm coming in with a spindle gouge. Now I'm going to have to judge this a little bit because I haven't got the centre bit there. Now, I don't want to take this down too far because I want to use this later, right? So I'm just going to hold that now in the middle. And there we go, that's it. And then all I would do, if I'm using a spindle gouge, I'll just carry on and do it with the spindle gouge. I'm a little bit low. Now if you do it with a spindle gouge and you want to do your dovetail bit, when you come across to that side, just drop the handle. Drop your handle and you'll get a nice clean in there, like so.
And remember to go right up to the line, not like I normally do. Right, so just drop the handle and you'll get that nice dovetail. Right, so we'll stop that. And that's our recess. And then we would just, if you was going to be reversing this into, that was going to be the bottom of your bowl, you'll just turn that around, close your jaws down, they pop in, there they go, they're in there, and that's it. That's our recess. Tight and a quarter. Oh, done. That's how you make your recesses. Okay, now if you're doing spindles, then it's not quite so good, because if you've got your towel stock in the way, then that can be a bit awkward. Let me just take this off quickly, because we're done with this piece. There we go. Remembering which way I'm going. Right, okay, so if we was going to turn a tenon on, say, something like this, let me just very quickly get a, put one of these. I don't want to have to take the chuck off if I can help it. Yeah, they fit in there, see. Those things are, they come from there. They're with this set, you know, I've spoken about this. They fit into any of your chucks. You've got all those different ones. You even go a nice big one like that if you wanted. Like, right, so we'll pop that in there so we can turn between centres. And this is just a quick, this is just for some, you know, for new turners out there that don't really know and wonder, because right, actually what I'm going to do, I mean, you can measure this, put a tape measure, put a ruler on and do your square like I should do, I suppose. I said it's for, right, so if you go corner to corner, put a little line, corner to corner, right there, put a little line, where the cross is, there you go, that's centre, bosh. Okay, if your bit of wood isn't square, so you don't want to go corner to corner, so if it's slightly out, the easiest way to find the middle is put your finger on your pencil, okay, like that, hold it there, put your finger on, draw a line, take that side, draw a line, right, and that will give you that little box like that. That is then very easy to spot and go, right, there's centre. So if the bit of wood is like, you know, one size, it's not square, then that's easier than going across corner. That way works if your piece is square. If your piece is totally out of square, then it's not so good. But that's an easy way to do it. You just put your finger on there, lock it onto the pencil and do that. And then little bradawl, there you go. Right, so we will put that on there. We'll put that on there. Right. Now, yeah, so if I was going to put a tenon on here, I want to put a tenon on so I can take that spindle and mount it into my chuck. Okay. Now, as I say, a lot of the time, I'll do it with, say, a set of calipers, and you'll see people will do it with a set of calipers. You stay there if you want, you'll get it easy. Yeah. You'll do it with a set of calipers and put this on and turn. They either lean over the top like this if they can't do left-handed, or if left-handed you come in or do a little bit and stop. New turners, sometimes you're a little bit worried about these things. They might flip up on you or something. An easy way is just to get a piece of wood, okay, and do that to what your tenon is. Now, this is my tenon here. Well, I've got enough. I've got a piece of wood here. Look. Right, this is the size of what my tenon would be, the 35mm. So just make it for that, okay? Because you tend to find that won't grab or bite at all. Sometimes these, if you hold it slightly wrong, that could catch on that side, and it won't fly up and kill you, stab you in the neck and all that sort of stuff. Don't do that. But it can give you a nasty knot. It can wrap your knuckles and it can jump out your hand. They can have a tendency to catch. They have a mind of their own, those things. So if you're doing like that and you're just going to put a tenon on, right, we'll let that spin up while I put the face shield on. Right, and then all we're doing, I'm going to do this with carbide. So I'm just going to... Just take the corners off a little bit. Right, clean that nice, get that nice and clean. Right, that's nice and clean. And then all you have to do is if you hold it there, push in, when you feel comfortable, put that there, pop, and that's it, it's gone over. Okay, and as soon as that's gone over, that's it. And as you see with this, it won't catch because it's wood, it can't catch. Just a bit of MDF. And slowly around with time as it comes to it. And there you go, there's your tenon. And then if you want to dovetail it, again you can come in with your skew chisel, push it in. You've got your square carbide, just turn it over and come in, just do a little cut like that. With it at that angle, there you go. That gives you your dovetail. That's all you've got to do is come in at that end. Because it's got the bevel there, that will give you a perfect dovetail. And you can make as many of those up as you want, put them on a little ring and have them for different tracks, just write on it what track it is and stuff. And there you go, you get your temp. But that tends to be a little bit kinder. Sometimes these, you know, you're holding this over and it comes down, and when it's a little bit tight, it pushes on, and they can catch. They have a tendency. Look, just turn it by hand. You can see that it will grip and pull it over like so. Yeah, where that can be on there, and it's like it's just not so bad. It's not so rough, is it? And if that little light bit of wood, it sure ain't gonna do nothing, is it? It's only a bit of MDF. So, right, that's that then. So that's those dealt with, and just to show that, I'll take that out of there. These are brilliant, these are. My God. Right, turn that down and pop that in there, put a finger on there. Oops, chocolate key's not in properly. There we go. We've got our nice joint, and there, look, all running true as well. How's that? Okay. So that's it, just a couple of quick easy ones if you're for doing your mortises and things like that and your tenons. It's just quick and easy. There's loads of different things. You can get the cards, you can get different bits of wood, bits of plastic, whatever. I just find I've got tons of MDF laying about from different things I've done, so I have them, and I've got mine set up there. I've got two of them now because I just made that one. Look at that. Maybe I'll do that as a subscriber giveaway. Right, yes.
Sign it, just sign it.
I'll sign it, it'd be worth millions. Yeah, so I just have that, and I'll just keep it up there like that, and that's it, done. Right. That was it, I think. Right, other thing, I was asked about, because I've done the little thing, that turn the bowl with one tool, you know. And someone did say that I normally say the AU cutters for hollowing, so why didn't I use the AU cutters to do the hollowing? Because I was using one chisel. That was all it was. It was just for a bit of fun, you know. Like I said, if someone says to me, right, you've got to turn a bowl, you can only pick one tool. Right, if I can use any tool, I'll pick a spindle gouge, and I'll do it with a spindle gouge, because unless you change the grind, you won't get a mortise done. Even a tenon is awkward unless you change the grind. The grind you'd have to have wouldn't suit it for hollowing, in my opinion. It wouldn't suit for hollowing, wouldn't be as good on the outside. Might be probably all right on the outside, but wouldn't be as good for hollowing to get a complete finish. The spindle gouge, the grind I have on that particular gouge I used, which is that one, can do everything. That can shape it, it can put a mortise on, it can put a tenon on, it can hollow it, and it can clean up the bottom as well and give me a perfect... That grind on that chisel does absolutely everything. So that's why. And in carbide, it had to be the 9mm. Because if I'm going to do it with one tool, yeah, it does do it with one carbide tool. I can't then go and like, yeah, well, I use a parting tool for putting the recess in the skew chisel, but I've only used one carbide tool. No, that's still using more than one tool, isn't it? Yeah. If I'm going to do it with one tool, it's got to be one tool. If I said two tools, it would just be two tools. So the one tool was the 9mm, the box hollower. The only thing I made, as I said, I've got loads of box hollower because I make them just for myself. And what did I use? Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't use that one, did I? Right, I used. So I've mixed them all up here.
In your collet.
I use this one in my collet, and that's got. This one's lovely for hollowing out. It's got that little bit of bevel there and doing. But really, I should have gone with that one that I have a slightly steeper grind on. If I had used that one, I would have got in the recess a lot better. Okay, it's a little bit of, you know, what do you want? Like I say, I've got so many, so I just put different grinds on all. Like my other chisels, I put different grinds on every chisel. I've got, believe it or not, I think I have 16 spindle gouges, 1/4 inch, between 3/8 and 1/2 inch, 16 of them, and I've got 15 spindle roughing gouges. But I'm not obsessive or anything. Look at that, guys. Do you see that? Look, I've signed all my tools.
You signed it all. Look. Oh my
Look
God.
at that. I'll turn them around. I got
spent an afternoon just signing.
I signed all my tools.
It's got a new pyrography thing.
Look, pyrography. I got one. Do you know, I'd see them when I went to the Midlands woodworking show. I was quite interested, but I'm sorry, I was not going to pay £195 for a pyrography machine, not for the little bit that I'd use it. No. And in case anyone is wondering, I got one. It's all plugged in over here. This little one here, Lisa, just spin around a little bit.
Spin.
This one I've got over on my shelf here. This one, okay. This one here is on eBay. It comes with two pens.
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting it all back. Sorry. It comes with 2 pens, like this. Okay, these little pens, lovely they are. Nice. They don't hit the floor when you drop them. Very nice, comfortable to write with. You get 25 tips, and you can buy the stuff and make your own tips or buy other tips. 25 tips, 2 pens, and the box. £22.95 free postage.
There you go.
And I'll tell you what, it absolutely works perfect. I spent, I don't know how long I spent, but I was in here the other afternoon and I signed every single chisel.
Look at them all.
Every single one, I signed them. Yeah. I mean, I haven't gone through all the different nibs, but I signed all those. I've even signed these ones down here. Like, I've signed them, you know. And it done the whole lot in one go. So I can't moan at that. For 22 quid, I think that was a very good buy, that. So if you want, there's loads. Just put pyrography.
Very quick as well when going hot and cold.
Oh yeah, when you turn it on, they heat up within like 10 seconds. And when you turn them off, the tip's gone cold within about 8 seconds. It's cold. You can pick it up and hold it by the tip. So they are absolutely fantastic. A really brilliant buy. I'm really glad I bought that. It is really good. Works really well. Right, now, what was I talking about?
Well, you were going next to it because you were saying about...
Oh yeah, you were saying about why didn't I use the AU cut? Because I always say about my hollowers for hollowing out bowls. Right, because I wouldn't be able to do everything with one of those. Simple as that. I wouldn't be able to get the recess or the well, I say I wouldn't. I probably could get it, but it's not. It wouldn't be my choice if I had to choose one chisel. But they are fantastic for hollowing. I've said it all along, and I still say it now. They are a carbide bowl gouge, as close as you will get to one. And if you, see, when you're using the standard cutters like the 9mm, when you're hollowing a bowl, when you're running around, I've got a little bowl over here. I've got a hollow anyway. Look, so we'll do a little bit with them on this and just finish this off hollowing this. Okay. Now, when you're hollowing that with the standard cutters, I know people have said I make it look easy because I come round, I'll turn it over, roll it around. You'll find it a lot easier to ride the bevel and do it with one of these AU cutters, okay, than you will the standard. I admit, I say practice, practice, practice. It's not as easy. I've been using carbide for over 20 years, So I've learnt to use them, and I can do pretty much anything with a carbide tool. There's just nothing I can't turn or do with it because of practice, but it's the same with traditional. There's nothing I can't do with a traditional tool or turn with a traditional tool. And it's not a case of showing off, it's a case of just showing people what you can achieve if you practice and if you want to do it, if you want to be able to do this stuff. And if you can only buy 1 or 2 chisels, because that's all you can afford, then you can happily turn all these things with 1 or 2 chisels. Simple as that. The AU cutters, as I've always said, brilliant for hollowing. You can use them on the outside, but they won't take as deep a cut because of the flute on them. They tend to be not as good on the outside of bowls and things, but fantastic on the inside. They really are. So I'm going to hollow this, but it's yeah, this was just a piece of ash, and yeah, I'm just going to hollow it. That's all I'm going to do, and I'm not really doing it for keeping. I'm just going to hollow it out. So I've got a recess in the back, because why? I always like a recess. So we're tight and 1/4. That is it. That ain't going nowhere. That baby's on there. Tight and 1/4. That's all we need. I don't want to risk splitting that open. Right. So as I say, I continuously, like I said, use the tools how you want to use them, however you feel comfortable. But if you really want to get some good out of these tools, just use them like a bowl gouge. Really, all of them. I've got I do the 6, the 8. Now I've got. See, and I'm going to do these because I've got mine in my handles, which are these. And as you know, I don't make these sense, but I'm going to do them unhandled. So if you've got the Robert Sorby, the handle, or if you've got a Simon Hope handle, if it takes a 12mm bar, then you can put these straight in, and then you can adjust your length and you can do whatever. Just email me what length you want, because I can make the bars up to whatever length you want. Okay, but I've got these chisels as chisels with just in the standard handle, like I normally have, the normal type handle like that. They're on my website. Okay, so right, I do, as I said, you'll know you've got the 6mm. I've only got the 8mm for myself on a 10mm bar, because I just haven't needed it, so I haven't put it on a 12mm bar for me yet at the moment. I do them on the website. So we've got a 6mm, we've got an 8mm, we've got a 10mm, and we've got a 12mm. So you've got the complete sizes. And as you know, they're available on these ones, which are the ultimate hollers. So if you buy this one, you'll get the 6 and the 8. So you can use them both. This is a little bit overkill when you do it, but not too overkill. You can do it, but see, because we've got the different heights in bars, really, once you're in, it's all right, but you'd be on that, you'll be in a very awkward position to start with, and it's for beginners and that. Now keep your tool rest as close as you can. It works better. Personally, I don't ever find a need for that type of hollower, because I can do everything with that for as deep as I'd want to go. I can do it. That's one. I can do it with all those. But right, we'll start this up, and we'll do a little bit of hollowing, just to say. And I do say it all the time with them, just use them the same as you'd use a bowl gouge. Okay, so we're going to start off, obviously, we'll start with the smallest, the 6. Now, we're just basically on centre, so all we do is we just come in, same as we would with a bowl gouge. And we just run our cuts in. Exactly the same as we do with a bowl gouge, okay? And we can push and we can pull, whichever way you want to go. On face work, you're better to push, because this is face work. Right, I'm going to do the 8 before we get too deep, although this would go to the bottom of this. Right, the 8mm, exactly the same, no different. Don't do anything any different. And if you want a pull cut, you can pull cut it, but it's better to push cut. Right, then if you want the 10mm, you've got the 10mm. And again, we do it exactly the same. You want a pull cut? Pull cut. Now when you pull cut with these, you always get a better finish if you drop your handle. But we'll go into that on another time. Right, so we come in, right, okay, we don't want to skip back. There we are. Pick our cut up and down. There we go. And if you want to do 12mm, see, every one of them is exactly the same. There's no difference between them. It is just a carbide bowl gouge. You want a pull cut? We can pull cut. Lovely smooth finish. Get a cut there. There we go. We're in. Like that. And like I said before, if you go over to the equivalent on bowl gouges, it'd be exactly the same. I would just pick my cut up and run it round exactly the same. The difference is, if I'm pull cutting, when I come round to here, I've got to keep my flute closed to come up the side. Because when I start opening my flute, is when I could be in danger of getting a catch. Now, you can come round and do the same. Drop your handle right the way down, right the way down, right down here. And we're coming out up here. Right down. But see, I'm on tip. I can't go bevel because I'd have to open the flute up. And that would be in a dangerous place to get a very nasty catch. So this is where a bowl gouge needs to really be this way. I can come upwards, which makes it a little bit easier. But I'm on tip and I'm going to get grooves. I've got ridges there. Okay, I'll actually stop that and show you. This is the difference when you've got it with a bowl gouge. Okay, I've got, you can probably see that if I move to it. Look, I've got ridges here now. Okay, and a bit of torn grain. That's because the bowl gouge cannot maintain bevel contact when it comes out. Because if I come on, as I showed there, I'm on tip, and sorry, let me get the bowl gouge, it'll be easier. Right, if you do it with a bowl gouge, when I come out this way, I'm on tip. I can't be on the bevel because I can't come round there and push out. I'm on tip, and if I try to get the bevel, well, look, I'm round. I can't. I'll be here, come in here, and look, that's asking for danger. That is. So you can't do it. So you've got to come out here, and all you can do is scrape. That's all you can do is come back and scrape it. Okay, and that's not going to give you a nice finish. If you try and come out on the tip, you're going to do that. I can come out, but it's going to go tick 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 tick, and try and dig in. It's wanting to go in all the time, and that's the problem with a bowl gouge. But fantastic for going that way. Okay, but with these, different thing altogether. We can come out. Right, just a little bit of a bump there. Get rid of that. Clean it up to the bowl gouge. Right, and we get rid of the tool marks. Come another one here. Right, that's the deck. It's there. Put quite a groove in that bowl gouge. Right, there we go. So on a pull cut, we can get this cleaner finish, see? And that's on a pull cut on this ash, so we don't get the tool marks. And that's the difference if you need to pull cut with it. Now the main difference with these is when you're not in that far, but you really want to get your tool rest at that angle if you can. You don't want it straight across the front. That's all right with a bowl gouge because you start slightly differently. But with these tools, you really want to get your tool rest across that way. So it's just going slightly into the bowl. That just makes it a lot easier for when you're picking up your cut here. Right, hang on, let's get in, there we go. Get out of there, get in there we are. Right. And this tool is absolutely fantastic for getting that flat bottom. Right, let's have a look at what that finish is. And that's the 12mm, which is absolutely fantastic. Look at that finish. That's a beautiful clean finish there. Okay. And that bottom, it just does the bottom lovely. These really are, as I said, they're equivalent to a carbide bowl gouge. Yeah, picking up cuts. I mean, this 6mm one's fantastic, it really is. Just open it up. You can go up and come down on that, like just like there. And there, that's our little 6mm, okay? Which everyone seems to have problems with it leaving ridges and things and thinks it's aggressive. I mean, well, you can see that. I mean, I haven't finished it. I'm getting that a bit thin on this edge here. But there you go. So we can get that sort of a finish. And that works with all of them. I mean, this is the 8mm. Play about with them. Nice. And then we've got the 10mm. Exactly the same. Come in. Treat it the same as a bowl gouge. When you come in, look, bevel, no cutting. Okay? Bring our bevel back, we can find out where our cut is. There we are. Right, rotate the amp, just twist your handle back. Like I've said before, it's a bit like a motorbike. Give it a little bit of throttle. So come in, a little bit of throttle, away we go. We want to maintain that bevel contact, so we're going up. And then we're going to just slice our way down. There we are. Right, I can feel, can hardly see it, but I can feel there's a little, very fine little mark bump there. And I've got a little bit of thickness on this shoulder, on this here. So I would actually come in here. I'm not going to start up here because I don't want to leave a line when I go in. So what I want to be is I want to be down here and I want to come back. There we are, that's where my cut's going to be. Rotate it. See, when I do that, I don't leave any lines. There's no line where I started. See, if I come up here and I start here, straight away I've got a line here where I started. So if I come back past it, turn it on. There we go. Totally smooth. Let's have a look, see what finish we got. There we go, look. No need for bottom feeders, no need for anything else. Okay, no dimples, no marks, no ridges, no torn grain. There's no torn grain on there because we're doing push cuts. You know, just because it's a carbide doesn't mean you have to scrape with it. Don't have to pull, but you must work off the tip. So we come round and that's it. And as I said, with all the sizes, even if the 6mm one, we can come in, we can get it. But you don't want to be doing this overhand gripping like this and coming in here. And definitely don't get it on your body. Don't put it on your body at all. That won't do you no good whatsoever. And it's not needed. It's not needed. You can hold the tool so light and pick up the cut. Look. It's not needed. See, we're just like this. That's all. I can rotate that with that. I can just do the rotating. You know, I can feel everything that's happening. I can come down and feel it. I can feel I've got a little bump I've put there. Let's do it with a 12mm just to see if it's the same. Again, I can start to come back, no cutting. I just rotate it. There we are. See, and this is like it's just my fingers here. That's all I've got. Two fingers and a thumb, and 2 fingers and a thumb, and that's it. And I can control that chisel. There you go. Don't need to death grip it. Don't need to hold on to it. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm not doing anything to make that chisel want to jump out of my hands. I'm not doing anything for it. Oh, I picked up another little bump there. I'm going with 6mm. Look at that. It's 6mm the same. It's not an aggressive tool. There we go, it's gone. And that was it. Right, there you go. We've used all 4 different ones. We've used all 4 different ones. Okay, and we've hollowed that out and we've got a nice finish on there. Okay, and you'd start sanding that with 180 240 grit even. There's no torn grain. Gone quite thin. We're a bit thin now on that. So it's like I said, I've just played about with the different ones. I'm not trying to actually finish. It's not a bowl I'm keeping or anything like that. But if you are a bit, you know, you're not sure what you want to do, maybe a bit strapped, who knows, whatever. You can't afford to go buy bowl gouges and sharpening systems and everything. So I said to you, I looked the other day and oh Christ, the prices, bowl gouges and things like that. I mean, I know what they are anyway. I've got to say. The thing is, yes, I've got a lot of tools. I've got like 150 chisels here, and this is only half. I've got the same, pretty much the same again in my other workshop. But I've built them up over a case of like 30 odd years. I've built these up, and a lot of the carbides I make myself, so I can have as many of these as I want. But yeah, these they're absolutely so underrated. They're fantastic as a carbide bowl gouge. No sharpening, no. You can do. I could go straight on now and do another bowl, and then straight on and do another bowl and another bowl. And I said, I don't know how long these will last. You know, I don't know. I've never worn one out to the point where I've had to throw it away. Not done that. Even sharpening them, it's a long time before you sharpen them. More so these ones as well, because these are actually the aluminium they're designed for. So if they're cutting aluminium, they're going to last a lot longer on wood. Depends on what you're doing with them really and what you're turning. But yeah, I find they stay sharp for a long time. I mean, you've seen the amount of times I've used this 6mm one, and that's only a tiny little 6mm cutter. I ain't changed it, I ain't rotated it, I ain't done nothing with it yet. It's still on its same. So I've got because I only use the tip, and again, if you only use the tip, I've got the tip there and the tip there and the tip, so I'd get like 4 or 5 turns out of that. So yeah, it's all good. But work off your tip, use it the same as a bowl gouge. You wouldn't go with a bowl gouge and do this and start coming in like that. So don't do it with one of these. Use it the same as a bowl gouge and you'll be surprised what you can get done. And the finishes you can get, and it's beautiful. And like I said, they're all on my website. If you want them unhandled, just drop me a message, tell me what size you want, I'll tell you how much it is. The actual chisel, in all 4 sizes, £36, free postage. That's what you pay. Okay, and that is a carbide bowl gouge, which will do everything. The 6mm and 8mm, I would say, are like your equivalent to this, which would be your 1/4 inch bowl gouge. Okay, the one beauty is no flute on them, so you can actually hollow a lot deeper than you can with this, because this will start to vibrate when you get so deep. Not knocking these, not replacement for these. They're to use as well as these, or if you can't afford to buy all the sharpening gear, or you don't want all the sharpening gear, it's not just sharpening, it's not just a sharpening, you've got to have all the jigs in that. You're not going to put those on freehand, not when you're new to turning. No way. A lot of it, majority of experienced turners turning for 20 years will not put that grind on freehand. They just won't be able to do it. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to have that expense. The 10mm gouge, yep, that's up here to the 3/8. Your 3/8 bowl gouge equivalent to that, basically. And then with the 12mm, that would be the equivalent to your 1/2 inch bowl gouge, which is this one. The cutter wise is the same. Bar's not quite as thick, but then I do this as an option if you do go for the heavier stuff. I actually do it on a 16mm round bar as well. And that works exactly the same. Exactly the same, which is this chisel here. I just was a bit Nancy fancy with this one. Put a bit of colour on it, got a bit arty farty, you know. I thought, you never know, that might end up in a tape gallery or something. So I thought I'd better sign it.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. But yeah, that's on a 16mm bar. So there you go. So that is your equivalent of those bowl gouges. But that's a solid bar all the way up, so no flute. So actually, you'll find that a bit more stable. So, not replacement, and as well as, or an option. Like I said, you ain't got to sharpen that, okay? And that, 40 quid, free post, okay? That is it. 40 quid, free postage. And take it out. You ain't got to sharpen it, you ain't got to grind it before you use it. Just go ahead and use it. If you want to knock the bar back a little bit, to suit your style of turning, then knock it back a little bit. Just put it on your sander and give it a little, or on your sanding disc on here, give it a little thing, knock a little bit off if you want, help you get round the corners a bit better. I wouldn't use it on bowls this size. It's more for bigger, but I can use it on a bowl this size. I'm not saying you can't. I mean, we can. If we want to use it on a bowl this size, we can come in here. Well, I'm not going to take too much because I ain't got a lot of wood there. I've got a recess in the bottom of that. You was going to hopefully see me go through it, weren't you? Well, I didn't. Cool, that's a lovely finish on that bottom. Got a little line there where I started, but there's a love. Oh, that's beautiful. Like I say, I don't actually have a bottom feed bowl gouge, what they call bottom feed, traditional grind one. I don't have one anymore. I don't need one because even that cannot get a finish to match that on the bottom of a bowl. That is just absolutely perfect. A bottom feed bowl gouge cannot do what this does. Absolutely impossible. Anyone wants to go up head to head, we'll do it. Right? We'll put up a little wager and that can go to charity. You will not get a better finish off a bottom feed bowl gouge than I'd get off of this 12mm AU cutter. Never ever in a million years. That is absolutely perfect and it does it every single time. Right, anyway, enough of that. Right, and if you're a little bit new to turning, you're not sure, you know, round bar, finding that right bevel, then I'll do it on a square bar. The SCH 1, 2s and 3s. The 3 has the 16mm cutter and it's exactly the same. But this one, once it's on the tool rest, I haven't really got enough room to do a cut on it here. But once it's on your tool rest, you just hold it flat. It's already at the angle, and all you've got to do is follow it round and just
12mm cutter.
Yeah, this is the 12mm, and if you go for the different one,
SCH2 or SCH1.
the SCH2, I haven't got it in that handle. I have got one for it. The SCH2 has a 10mm cutter. Okay, so 12mm and 10mm, and right, they are basically exactly the same. Just have them on centre. Okay, they come on the 12mm bar, but this one you don't have to worry about the angle. All you have to do is come in and make your cut. And that's it. I've got to take very shallow cuts here because I'm not got a lot of meat on this at all. And then the 12mm is exactly the same. Okay, you can come in, pick up the cut, and around you go. As easy as that. Okay, and look, they're shavings coming off, guys. They're not scrapings. They're shavings. The only difference between it, like I said, the square bar, and look at that finish. Look at that. Look at that. What a beautiful finish, eh? Lovely. And the only difference, as I said, the cutter's already set. It's set there for your pull, and it's set there for your push. It's 45 on the square bar. To be honest, the only reason I go for a round bar is a bit like with a bowl gouge. I can adjust the aggressiveness myself. So the more I open up, the more I throttle back, the more aggressive it will get. So if I want to get a more aggressive, I can just play with this one more. I can roll it back and forwards and play. I like to play when I'm cutting. With these ones, basically, yes, I could roll it back, but it's a little bit harder to control. But hold it flat, 45, and just follow it round, and you can just stand there, do that, you know, watch a telly and just hollow a bowl like that, you know. When it's done, you'll know, because there'll be a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, that is basically it, guys. I just wanted to run through, because I was asked about the AU on this, and people do tend to think that because it's there, if you hold it there and you pull it out, that's cutting. That's not cutting, that's scraping. The minute you take that bevel away from that, it's scraping. Simple as that. Yeah, if you use them the same as a bowl gouge, yeah, you'll be well away. No aggressiveness, easy to use, lovely finish, no lines, no grooves, nothing to stand out, and they work brilliant. So there you go. Right, that's enough of advertising. Next time we'll be turning. I've got loads of bowl blanks and stuff like that. I've had a few sent to me, a few donated, so I'll be doing a few things with that. I've got a couple of salt and pepper grinders to do. Bought some things for that. Got some other little bits, some little idly piddly things to make up, you know. We'll do some little
projects.
Little stuff. I've got funny actually. I went to the boot fair yesterday, the car boot sale, and I had a plastic. A little plastic pot like this sort of shape jar stuffed full of pine cones. So I thought it was £1. They said £1. So right, okay, I'll take it. At first I thought it was glass, and it was plastic. So I thought that's brilliant. I'm just going to take it home, fill it with resin, and I can turn that, and that'd be brilliant. And I thought that'd be fantastic. Right, so I brought it home and I mixed up the epoxy. It took loads of epoxy. I probably should have done it in a couple of pours really, but I put it in. I put it over there to go, and it was fine. I was just doing some turning, weren't really paying much attention, and I went to walk over there, and there was just this puddle of resin on the floor. The plastic has sort of started to melt where the heat's generated. There's smoke coming out of it, and the plastic's all sucked in tight, so it's pushed all the resin out, and it was all over me floor. I've chiselled that up this morning, and it's actually taken a patch out of me concrete on the floor. Yeah, so that's still not worked out that great. I don't know what that's going to turn like actually. Yeah, we'll see. It's all sort of fizzed up and bubbled and everything, so that was a bit of a disaster. I thought the plastic was stronger than that,
It wasn't, and it basically it melted and the plastic just sucked in like a vacuum and pushed resin up, and it's got a really weird shape. But I'd say it might turn out quite nice. Who knows? It might actually look all right when it's turned. But we'll give that a try. But I thought it was quite funny actually. I walked over there and thought, "Oh, what's happening there?" And then I see all this smoke coming out. It was smoking. And that's how hot that resin gets. So be careful. I'm glad I didn't put it on my side table or something like that. I would have been very upset.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that, guys. I'm just rambling now. So I don't want to take up any more of your bank holiday, your weekend. So I'll see you on the next one. Toodle pip, guys.
Bye, guys.